Jet Set Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
Hello. How are you, Jim Toth?
Me?
Yes.
I'm doing well, thank you. Happy Monday.
How was your weekend?
It was a weekend. It was
Yeah.
very busy.
I had a series of first birthdays.
You did?
I told you about that.
Yeah, happy birthday, Cam.
Wasn't
Oh,
mine.
no,
It was
you're-
first. I had two first birthdays. And you're not going to believe what happened at the first one.
Okay, I'll believe it.
So, a friend of mine listens to the show.
Thank you.
Often.
What's the friend's name?
Yale.
Yale, thanks for listening.
So, Yale, of course, knows what I look like. Doesn't know what you look like. So, he was going, I
so
listen
you
all
did
the time.
this-
So,
he's-
because this is the sort of thing with radio, right? People sort of, and as I speak, you might not have any idea what I personally look like, and you might have your own image of what I look like in your own head.
Before I was on this show, I used to listen. And so say something now. I'm going to close my eyes.
Jim Toth, of all people, how could you do that to me?
See, so in my head, I thought you looked like Brian Cox, the actor.
Oh, wow.
From Succession.
That's not a compliment.
And from the movie Troy. But in the Troy-esque one, where he was like a king.
So you thought that when I
have
was a
that-
young man, I dealt with serious bouts of acne that scarred my face. Is that what you're saying?
Is that what happened?
I don't know.
How
That's what it
dare
looks
you?
like.
He's a film legend.
So
Anyway, I just
I'm
thought
actually
you had a
big fan.
booming king voice like in Troy.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I think he's Scottish too.
Yes.
No, so Yale comes up to me and says, "You know what I envision Jim Toth as? 5'8", bald, scraggly beard, Charlie Sheen shirt from 2.5 Men. Yes, thank you, Jeffrey
or
Forche.
like Kramer would wear.
Yeah, tucked in his pants,
Tuck-in.
high waist, big socks, Chuck Taylors on your feet."
So
And I was just like, that's pretty accurate,
Chuck
actually.
Taylor's. Chuck Taylor's. Pretty accurate. Do you have Yale in your phone?
I do, yeah. I do,
Okay,
yeah.
well, you text him and ask him
Hold
what
on.
part of the city he wants to meet and fight me at. Because it's go time, Yale. Balding? Forche. I wasn't even bald when I was born.
True.
And I just got a new
I was
haircut.
there. I was there.
It wasn't,
What were you doing there?
just kicking back.
He was in the incubator beside me.
So I said, Yale, you got good intuition. You should follow that instinct.
What part of the city do you want to fight, Yale? Because it's on now. I actually got my haircut from my
You did?
scissor magician, Eric, at Modern Man Garden City on Friday. And I
Hey,
said, I'm thinking of going really short.
I'm seeing Andy tomorrow at 2:30.
Andy, he's
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah.
Now, I said to Eric, I'm thinking of going really short. He goes, really? I don't think I've ever cut your hair really short. It's
Yeah.
so luxurious. And I said, no, I understand that. But I said, summer's almost over, and it always goes back so
Yeah.
fast because it's so thick and luxurious. And I said, but I'm worried I'll mess it up. And he literally put his hands in the air and said, how? How could you mess that up? And I said, all right, let her go. So Yale, thanks for listening, buddy.
So
But it's go time.
I showed him a picture of you on your Twitter X account. I said, this is actually what he really looks like.
Oh, yeah, that's a
And he went-
station headshot.
He went,
Ah! Oh, well, then he came back,
and he's like,
right?
totally ruined it for me. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I wish that you still had that image of Jim Toth in your head because I think that's a funny image to have. I
One-
wish
one day maybe, yeah.
I wish I looked at you and you were like that.
I'll come in like that one day.
Yeah.
I do have a Kramer shirt. I'm just never allowed to wear
Oh,
it.
you got to tuck it in.
It's
do you
never
have
on.
a pair of Chuck Taylors?
I haven't tucked in since
You're going
I
to have
gained
to,
weight,
yeah. You're also going to have to come in.
which was the 7th grade.
he said 5'8", so I think you're 5'3", 6'3", something like that?
6'4".
6'4", okay. So you're going to have to lose some inches. I don't know how you're
Yeah.
going to do that, but,
Well, age, you get shorter, right?
well, we might have to cut you off at the knees.
Ironic we're having this because the last time I saw my father back in May, I said, you look like you're getting shorter. And he said the same thing. What part of the city do you want to fight in? I said, why don't we do it right here?
Down by the Old Man River, eh?
Old Man River. Let's go down to the bridge. We'll do it under the bridge, by the river. Fort Whoop up. They had a lot of battles there over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have another one. I'm like, Dad, I'm kidding. Calm down.
Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash
Thanks for
Method
listening,
Car
Yale, I
Wash.
guess.
Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash. 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line wins a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio. For gourmet pizza and pasta, bring the team to Boston Pizza. Here's a funny thing. If you don't know what I look like and you're not watching us on YouTube or whatever, wherever we are now, what do you think I look like?
Well, let's
I want to hear 204-780-6868.
And same with me.
Like, I know that you've probably seen
I had a guy.
some of those Greek god marble. Like, I saw a bunch of them when I was in Europe. I went to the Vatican. There was tons of those.
What's the one with
I'll just let you know it's not that far off.
I agree. I think you could, in Greece
Statue
or
of David.
Statue of David.
Yeah. They put a leaf over it now, so there's no...
Well, I was going to say, but with the tiny unit, right? That's camp.
It's no comment.
How dare I?
No comment.
Who are we to judge?
Exactly. Who are we to judge?
We should just not at all.
So, anyways, today is the Monday reheat.
It's a fun topic, though, what you think people look like.
Yeah. The Monday reheat is when we look back at the best comments from YouTube, TikTok, X,
it up.
Instagram.
And we had a lot on Friday.
Yeah, we had a bunch of them. So I went back, looked at some of the best comments. We'll react to some of your best reactions here on the show. So let's get back to some of the ones that we missed on Friday for Free For All Friday.
The problem with not being handsome like me is I'm not handy either. What was it, Red Green or Red Fox? No, Red Fox was in the States. Red Green, who said,
That's
if they
Sanford.
don't find
Red
you
Fox
handsome,
is Sanford and Son.
You have to find you handy.
Esther, you ugly.
My father used to tell me that, and I'm like, I am hooped because I have neither. So I better get into radio and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hope for the best.
I'd love to see Jim put up a wall.
I'm trying to be handy the last 2 weeks. You know this.
Yeah.
Moving and trying to do some stuff. And there's things that I'm done with. And I did some drywalling on the weekend. And when I mean drywalling, I mean like a circle this big to cover a light socket.
You like mud and stuff with a trowel?
And when I got it done, ready to mud, I was looking at it and I'm like, it looks like somebody punched 9 holes in that thing. Like I'm not the handiest. And I want to be. I try to be. My brother's a carpenter.
Trevor texts the show and he just says, what do I look? What is Cam? Asking what you think. He just goes one word, 2 words actually, Barney Rubble. That is not far off.
I don't mind Barney Rubble. He was a good looking guy.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Who played him in the Rick Moranis? I don't look anything like
Rick Moranis played Barney Rubble
in the live
action
movie.
I never did watch that, which is weird. I grew up on the Flintstones and I was really excited. And then the movie, I saw the trailer and I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Does anybody die?
Big Spence texts the show and says, I don't care how you look, LOL. Thanks, Big Spence. I appreciate that.
That's where we need to be. Our goal in society should be one without classes.
You're right about that. Actually, Big Spence sent us a text message on Friday that I pulled here. It says the Jets are going to lose Kyle Connor the same way they lost Nikolai Ehlers and Andrew Kopp. Chevy needs to empty the bank vault. If Kyle plays out his contract, it's bye-bye. Make him a priority today, Big Spence.
So Big Spence has been around for years, and I thank you for that, Big Spence. I've been hearing your Jets takes for over a decade now. I don't agree with all of them, as you know, but this is what I find, Big Spence. You're always half empty as opposed to half full. When you say like Andrew Kopp or Nick Ehlers, you fail to say Connor Hellebuck, Josh Morrissey, Adam Lowry, Mark Scheifele, Gabe Velarde, Neil Pionk. I could go on and on.
Yeah.
You always look at the 2 that left, and you don't look at the 12 that have stayed.
Well, and I also would say this: if you do not think that Kevin Cheveldayoff is making Kyle Connor a priority, I don't know where else to go.
A priority to be the highest paid Jet ever.
Yeah, I think by a wide margin. There's going to be distance in between him and Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuck.
And you know what, Cam? We haven't talked about this, but when it's done, I'll be probably surprised at how low or high it is. Whatever, whatever. It's funny how people always say, how does that make Scheifele feel? Or how does that make Hellebuck feel? And I always think to myself, like, they know, right? Like, there are a lot of guys on this team that they do things better than Kyle Connor. But I think the team knows that nobody does what Kyle Connor does. Nobody has elite hands and skill, sniper-wise, like Kyle Connor.
Yeah.
And I think they respect that, right?
Yeah. Asking people what they see in their mind's eye from my voice. Brad says, Cam, I see a cubby JD Vance with a man's beard. Sorry.
JD Vance.
That's actually, now that I think of it, I kind of look like JD Vance.
I was thinking of JD Vance today because in my show after this, we're going to cover the Trump-Zelensky meeting. And the last time they met there, I believe it was Vance who shouted at him to be thankful. And I was like,
you know what? I'm thankful. I kind of look like JD Vance. That's what I'm thankful for.
You need to shout at me. I need to be thankful. You need to be thankful for being on the show, Toad.
I actually do kind of look like
I
him.
hope, well, he's probably going to be, but I hope he's not there today. He's an instigator.
Oh,
He pokes.
This texter says, new rules. When a goalie receives a penalty, the opposing team should select the player to serve the penalty. Take out their best penalty killer.
Oh.
I don't mind that.
Connor McDavid.
We were taking
go to the box.
That's right. We were taking new rules.
But they'd probably have to be on the ice, right?
Yeah. I think
so. If Evan Bouchard took a penalty, you could literally say, "Hey, McDavid, go sit for 2."
Yeah,
that's interesting.
This texter says, this is from Murray from Toronto. Murray from Toronto says, could the Jets have gotten a draft pick and a sign and trade with Ehlers? Also, could more exhibition games come from other leagues be held in Winnipeg? Well, answer the first question. The reason why, this is like the Mitch Marner was because it was the 8 years. And so you could only sign, now this is changing, but you could only sign a player for 8 years if you currently have them under contract.
Yes.
So that's why they traded away Nick Waugh to the Leafs so that they could get that extra year of Mitch Marner. Considering that Nikolai Ehlers signed for 6, I don't even think that was even on the table.
Well, he could have got 7 and he didn't even sign 7.
That's
so
right.
I don't think that would have worked out there, but that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Mitch Marner, I mean, is the only guy who signed an 8-year deal other than Blake in Carolina, who did it after 1 year to solidify $5 million. That Blake deal is brilliant.
Yeah.
As much as I like that kid and how good he was in his rookie season with Carolina, he's going to be overpaid this year at $5 million. But after this year, he's literally like, he'll go to free agency with $50 million in the bank and still not be 30.
It's where you just blow on your nails and rub them on your shirt.
I got an idea for you before you buy the Portland Trail Blazers.
Me?
Sign me for 8 years and then buy them.
That's a good. And also, the other part of the question: could more exhibition games from other leagues be held in Winnipeg? Only really the NBA. The NFL is not coming back here.
Not after John Gruden's talking about the hole in the end zone.
Yeah.
Or Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing for our listeners.
NBA. The NBA could come.
I
there.
love the NFL.
Yeah.
And I went to that game.
So
and
I was there too.
And we took kids and stuff. Would you want them back?
No.
Like if it's going to be like that and Aaron Rodgers is on the sidelines. Like the problem with bringing the NFL here is they don't care. I'm sorry, if you're going to go to another country for a preseason game, make your star play a down or two.
Yeah. And also, you got to kind of figure some of this stuff out before you show up. Like you can't be figuring out like, hey, their goalposts are in front of the end zone, not at the back, and that might cause an issue. You might want to think about something like that before you bring both teams here, and then have to shrink the field by 10 yards on either side. I mean, just little things like that.
As a person who has often been caught not using common sense, I agree wholeheartedly with you. That's common sense.
Let's take a break.
Can we have a look at the field?
Do you know the dimensions of the field?
Can we literally see, I know it's a bigger one, but can we literally see it?
Let's Pizza Jets at Noon hotline open 24/7 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15. Only at BP. The number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Jim, what are your predictions for Comrie and how he's going to do at the Manitoba Open, which starts on Thursday? We'll be broadcasting live there. I won't be here. I'm going to be off. But you'll be here. You'll be down there at Breezy Bend.
Thursday, Breezy Bend.
He's got to beat 10 over, which was Dylan Sandberg's over. Didn't make the cut, obviously, for over the first 2 days. So that's the best mark. I don't know. 10 over is pretty good for Dylan.
Yeah, I know he golfs a lot. Well, a lot. He likes golf. I don't know how good he is, though. So I'm gonna ride with Sandberg. No disrespect, Eric Comrie. I hope you join us on the show.
We'll be right back. Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line and win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method, 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Well, Jim, we were joking around in the first segment. It was all jokes. We were all just telling jokes, right? Having some laughs.
I thought, yeah.
Well, somebody said, this texter says, gentlemen, I was listening to the introduction of your Jets at Noon show, and I heard you joking about fighting for various reasons. I was disappointed by that in view of all the violence in the world and our society. Unfortunately, that type of macho attitude is a contributing factor to many of our struggles. I hope that text message is tongue-in-cheek. Because that's a little...
I didn't see that. Who sent that?
No name attached to it.
Well, now I want to fight them. No, I'm just kidding. It was a joke about meeting somewhere to fight.
Texter, lighten up.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I'm telling you right now, get close to your radio, wherever you're listening, lighten up. Because you are way too wound up and you're way too uptight.
And also, if by joking about that, we've encouraged anybody to have a fist fight today, we highly discourage that and hope that you rethink that and don't do it.
Yeah. Do not use Cam and Jim on Jets at Noon as some sort of launching pad.
Do not take a loyal listener's and Cam's friends' take on me being bald and wanting to fight him seriously. I do not want to fight anybody, nor will I. Okay. So please, please do not become violent over the Jets at Noon radio show.
It's great that now we can move past that now, Jim. That's good. Let's get to some messages here. These two are about losing Kyle Connor. Big Spence brought that up in the beginning. We'll come back to it. This from Cliff Bowles. This was on YouTube. He says the Jets cannot, under any circumstances, let Kyle Connor go to free agency. Personally, I think starting the season without him extended would be very stupid.
You know, I don't know, so let's look at some history here. And every situation is different. So I'm not going to say this happened here, so that's what's going to happen with Kyle Connor. But Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele, I thought one of them was gone when the season ended. And then the summer unrolled, and we heard that, the New Jersey Devils wanted Connor Hellebuck but couldn't afford even his $6 million, and were trying to make deals to make it work, where things were going. And then I believe there was a full circle. I think both. Well, I don't know both, but I think one or two considered leaving. And that's just what you do in those situations. I don't think it's a malicious thing. It's just, well, if it's not here, where and how much? And then the full circle came back to training camp and realizing that here's one thing about the lack of playoff success. There isn't one person in that room that doesn't think it's going to happen. And people might laugh at that when I say that, but then why would you re-sign here? The sole reason Connor Hellebuck and Mark Scheifele gave for wanting to resign here is because they believe, and they said before the summer started, I just want to win. It'll be about winning. If a team can show me they're all about winning. And then they both re-signed here at less money than they would have gotten on the open market. And so I circle back to that with Kyle Connor, and I don't think it's going to be December and they're still looking for a deal. And if it is, I think the Jets have to buck up something, but I don't see Kyle Connor being the individual that sits there. If there ever was a player that could sit down and go, it's $11 million come hell or high water, it's Connor Hellebuck. He's the only player on this version 2.0 that has won a major award. He's won 3 of them, and then the biggest one ever this year.
Yeah.
Now, that wasn't last year, but he had won 2 and been nominated for 3. If there ever was a guy who could go, it starts at $10 million. It's got to be 10. And he didn't because he wants to win. I just don't see Kyle Connor being the guy that puts his foot in the sand and goes, it's $12 million or I'm out of here. I think he wants to be here. I think he understands that he has a perfect window to win. I think he likes not being the focal point of everybody's attention, but also understanding that there is attention in a Canadian market. And I just get that feeling that this is going to get done, and I don't worry about it. The whole conversation is okay or valid with me with any pending UFA on getting something done. But I'll also hearken back to the Jets know what they have in Kyle Connor. We don't have to sit here and go, if they don't sign him, this, and this. When all that core signed, and I've said this before, it was for $6 million. Josh Morrissey comes up. He could have done another bridge. He didn't. He signed 6. Everybody's sort of big money, medium money contract in this organization has been $6 million, except for Kyle Connor. Kyle Connor got more. Hellebuck, Ehlers, Scheifele, Morrissey, they all got $6 million. Kyle Connor got 7.1. that tells me the Jets know what Kyle Connor is.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody complained over those 6-year deals. I never ever heard, why is Kyle Connor making more than me? So I think the Jets know what they have. I think the team knows what he can do goal scoring wise. And I think they understand that it's going to be a little bit higher than everybody else.
I think it should.
I think it should be too. You get paid to score goals in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a bona fide, legitimate goal scorer in this National Hockey League. In fact, every year people go, he might win the Morris Rocket Richard.
Mm-hmm. He is
Maurice Richard.
Yeah, it just came out. I mean, the NHL ranked. He's a top 10 winger, not left, not right. He's a top 10 winger in the league here. So, and he's a perennial 40 goal scorer. He scored 41 last year, and he was effective in the playoffs. I mean, he would love to have another one in a couple of those games against Dallas.
Here's what I think is an even better debate, Cam. Do you think you'll be surprised at how low or high the deal is?
Well, I'll say this because I still think it's exactly it's somewhere between 9.5 and 10.5. I don't think it's going to go higher than that. So if it
comes in at 10, you won't like. No. I'm with that. Like if it's 11 to 12, so I thought it'd be 9.5 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But the more this summer has worn on, and I see what the other guys like Marner and them are getting, I'm like, he has a legitimate case to ask for 12. So I kind of been doing this where if it's 9.5, I'll be surprised. But then that's what the Jets do. They get bargains. And if it's 12, I'll be shocked that they went that high.
Yeah.
So if it's anywhere in between, I'm not going to be surprised.
12 would be a surprise. If it's 8.5, I would be surprised at that too.
If it's 9.5, I'll be surprised. If it's 12, I'll be surprised. If it's anywhere in between 9.5 and 12, I'll be like, yeah, I could see that.
This texter says this was about when we were talking about which Winnipeg Jets defenseman was going to be heading onto waivers, because you got Hayden Fleury, you have Logan Stanley, you have Colin Miller, you have Luke Shen, and you have Ville Heinola making up. And some of those, a couple of them are going to have to be moved on to waivers. This one comes from McCloggerton, 9185, who says, I kind of have a suspicion here, and this is like maybe I don't know. Like I'm not really into the lingo. I'm afraid I'm going to say something that is like McCloggerton. You think that's like that's dirty or something, and it's like something that I don't know.
I've never heard that before.
I've never. Okay, so I'm just going to keep talking. But McCloggerton says, why is there this obsession with Ville Heinola? He's done nothing, and they already have small defensemen that they can provide offense. So buy.
You know what? We should do this one day this summer because we're running out of time in the summer. But what is Ville Heinola?
Jim?
Ville Heinola is a first-round pick, 20th overall in 2019. He's played 53 NHL games. He's got 12 points, 1 goal in those 53 games. He's got 22 minutes in penalties. Last year with the Manitoba Moose, he had 27 points in 41 games. The year prior to that, in 22-23, he had 37 points in 48 games. He's a puck-moving, scoring defenseman.
Offensively minded defenseman.
At the AHL level.
Yeah.
At the NHL level,
remains to be seen.
He's 6 feet, 181 pounds. I still think, even at this time, Cam, I still think it would be a loss to lose him. But he's 24 years old. He was drafted 6 years ago.
Mm.
It's now or never. I know a lot of people said last year it's now or never. Yeah. I think it's now or never.
Okay, so here's the other thing.
But I'd take a flyer on that on the waiver wire.
Do you think that we know exactly who Logan Stanley is after the last 2 seasons? Is there any sort of...
Yeah, I would say that. I would say I have a better indication than ever.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And so what do you think he is?
Well, I think he's a defenseman with upside in terms of size. I think when he plays moving his feet, he's effective, but he has a tendency to slow down, and that's when he gets caught in trouble. I don't think he's a good I don't think he's a great. I won't say he's not a good penalty killer. I don't think he's a great penalty killer, and I think the Jets need more from him there.
I think he could be a better penalty killer for him because he's a 5'6" D-man that should kill penalties.
Yeah, he shoots the puck. That's a positive.
So he should develop there.
He shoots the puck on the blue line. Does he? I think a lot of his. And some people aren't going to like this, but I generally believe it to be true. I think some of his. He has a tendency when he makes a mistake for it to be a big mistake.
Or it snowballs.
It snowballs, right? So
which some athletes are like that.
Yeah,
it gets in their head and they can't get it back.
I mean, he takes a lot of heat, or has taken a lot of heat, but I honestly believe that he doesn't make as many small mistakes as people make it out to be. I think he's sort of fallen into sort of he'll make this big blunder once every 10, 12 games, and then that'll sort of carry with him for a while. But I don't think his like day-to-day defensive game is as bad as people say it is. I just don't believe that.
Here's what I think his problem is. He has games where he is a disaster.
Yeah.
It just snowballs and nothing goes well. And then he has many more games where he is just average. He doesn't have a lot of games where he's spectacular.
No.
And so that's where I think the problem is for a lot of fans is they harp on the odd terrible one.
Mm-hmm.
They don't give any credence to the okay ones, and they keep looking for the great ones, and the great ones haven't been there. I can't remember a time where I've said Logan Stanley had an outstanding game last night. He was a difference maker. But that's okay for a stay-at-home defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have every 12 or 13 games a bad one, people look for the good ones. And a lot of people just don't give credit to an even 13-minute, 18-shift game where nothing went wrong, and they don't give him credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, he's 27 years old. He was drafted 9 years ago. He's got 202 games in the National Hockey League, mostly because of injury. He's got 36 points. 17 playoff games. He has 4 points. And this last playoff run, which we all know how that was a battle with St. Louis, he's got 42 penalty minutes last playoffs. In 5 playoff games. And then he didn't play a lot, right? So I think they need it. Here's what Logan Stanley is to me. He's a 6'7" D-man. He was valuable in the St. Louis series because that was a physical series. In the Dallas series, which was a lot about speed, but I think he'd be claimed on waivers too.
Let's move on here. Video review on offside. I mean, I'm for getting rid of it. I just think it slows the game out. This commenter said a review is an energy killer. Yeah, I feel the way. This one says Michael Buck. Okay, I'm afraid I'm going to say something bad. 6535 says I like the idea of a time limit on reviews. This one from TikTok, Hockey Guy 89 did not like my take that we need to just get rid of them because sometimes I said it evens out over the course of the season. If it goes against you or goes for you at the end of the year, it's going to be. And if we're going over tiny little minuscules of white ice, I just don't see it as valuable time for fans, people watching the game, and everybody taking part. I think you lose more than looking at tiny little frames per second to see if it was over the line or not. But this one from Hockey Guy, and that's a valid point, and I'll read them all out, and there's some here that certainly don't agree with me, and I'll get them out here. But Hockey Guy says, in that case, do you think close goals, when the puck may or may not have crossed the goal line, should also not be reviewed? If it's a tiny fraction, who cares? Quoting me. That's a fair point, Hockey Guy. Clarence Thunder says, hey, Cam, let's not have accuracy. Yeah, okay. Darnith says, I think it should be limited to a 60-second review. If it's not obvious, the amount of time given is ridiculous. The reason we got the review, the first time was because a guy was 5 strides into the zone and it wasn't called. That's what sparked all this. It wasn't like, and that's sort of where I'm coming at, where it wasn't the sort of the, like the it could have or couldn't have decisions that sparked the video review. It was when it was a blatant miss.
Yeah, and I think of it a little differently. At the end of the day, even if it's a millimeter, or a millimeter second or an inch, that is the call's a call.
You want to get it right.
To me, it could be a foot offside or a millimeter. I just want it to be right.
No, I don't care.
And I get how devastating it is when it's like so close, and it's like, what's the point? What are we doing here at the speed of the game and all that? But at the end of the day, again, I'm the guy who's like, do not kick my ball out of the trees. If I shoot 120, I shoot 120.
Yeah.
I can't go home and go sleep at night if I shot 119 because somebody gave me a foot wedge. That's the kind of guy I am.
I don't think it's not worth these lengthy reviews.
And I can see that. Like, I get that. If you're talking about a half a millimeter, I get the frustration in that and how long it takes. But I just, like I said, at the end of the day, when I lay my head on the pillow, I'm like, it was offside.
Yeah. Mal Paurice says, how do they even out what offsets a goal in an offside reviewed and overturned?
Is that actually Paul Maurice? Because he was in town on the weekend with the Stanley Cup.
Mal Paurice. No, it might have been him. Maybe he is on TikTok commenting on our stuff.
Are you texting the show?
And I'll read one more here.
Sorry, what was the Mal Paurice one again?
Says, might as well cancel goal review then. Really, dude? Question mark. So anyways, I appreciate all those text messages. I stand by my opinion, and I will die on that hill, but appreciate all opinions. Let's take a break. Let's come back on the other side. We got a commenter from England that commented on one of the things that we talked about.
England.
Remember the bold claims from the UK?
Yes.
The CEO?
We will dominate the world in ice hockey by next year. Not next year.
We'll qualify for the next Winter Olympics, and we will be in medal contention by 2034, was the comment from the CEO of UK Ice Hockey.
Yes.
Well, somebody from Nottingham got back to me and made a comment on Instagram, and I'll read out what he said when we come back. Omer says, hey guys, was looking at some of the player suspensions over the last couple of years. It might help to clean up having dirty players if a team would have to dress one less player when they have a player suspended. Thoughts on that? That was a great conversation.
You know what? That's not a bad idea. You get a 5-game suspension. You can only dress 19 skaters.
Let's talk about that tomorrow.
Or 18 skaters.
Let's talk about that tomorrow.
How many do they dress? 20, right?
20, yeah. I think.
22 with goals.
Well, who knows?
So 19 skaters, yeah.
Who knows? It's a mystery.
And let's add it into some. The other team you're playing can pick the player you can't dress.
Yeah. You know what? Why don't we talk about that tomorrow when we have a little bit more time?
Shifley gets a 5-gamer and it's like, have fun sitting, Hellebuck.
But congratulations, you got yourself a VIP car wash from good friends at Wash Method.
Nicely done.
But we'll talk about that more tomorrow.
Yeah.
When Andrew Ladd is going to be joining us tomorrow on the show.
Jets captain Andrew Ladd is going to join us as we revisit the going into the 15th season and talk about all the good times and coming here. And he was the first Jet that landed. I think it was 4 days after they announced it on May 31st. Mm-hmm. He was here 4 days later to kind of help with everything, look for houses and neighborhoods and text all his teammates and stuff. So it'll be great to have Andrew back on the show.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. And he's also doing some great initiatives out there. So we're going to make sure we want to talk on some of the great charity work that he's taking part in. I missed your chance to get your thoughts on the show today. Call the Boston Pizza Jets at noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15, only at BP. Like I said, we got that message from England. It was just from Conrad G. He said, in terms of qualifying for the Winter Olympics, we're not massively far off. We only missed out of this one, but there's no way we're getting anywhere near medals in any top-tier competitions. We have no young youth talent coming through.
Well, that's why I would say there'd have to be some dual citizenship involved.
Yeah.
But I would think there's a ton of Canadians. I don't know, Kim. Maybe we're a different generation. I have a lot of friends I went to high school with that went to England. And went to Oxford.
I would say about a quarter.
Some just went to just live for 2 years.
Well, a quarter of the people that I grew up with were, like of English backgrounds.
I have a friend from college who moved there, got citizenship and everything. I would think there's Canadians there that can play.
That's their path forward. Americans and Canadians that they can scrounge out a UK passport, much like the CFL finds Canadians to meet their national requirements. Jim Toth will take you all the way until 2 o'clock. Thank you much, Jeffrey Fortier, for producing the show. That's it for me. Back same time tomorrow. See ya.
Put the Gallagher brothers on that team and watch out.